2024, but more importantly, talk about what may or may not be happening in the housing market in 2025. And to do this, I'm actually going to read a comment from one of my videos yesterday because, again, I believe this comment unknowingly highlights exactly what I think is going on in the housing market. As you know, I am one of the few creators who actually is called a buyer's market, right? Again, a buyer's market means less demand. It means it's easier to find motivated sellers. And if you do the work, you follow up, you write lots of offers, you might get lucky and find a motivated seller and get a great deal. So this comment comes from the Berlin 186. What's up, Mike? In my market, prices are starting to drop and homes are starting to stay he said I'm going to guess, on the market a bit longer. I went to several open houses. Nobody showed up. Realtor said, seller motivated to sell. 2 realtors said their clients are investors from China and they are selling their rental properties that they never seen or lived in. And realtors don't offer snacks or water anymore, LOL. Also, have you checked inventory levels where they stand? Folks, some folks read comments like that, and if you were on a different channel, they would be screaming housing crash, prices going to fall, all of those things. Sorry, I'm not your huckleberry. That is not what's going on. What is going on is, quite frankly, less volume, less transactions. I believe last time we did existing home sales, it was something like 3.9 something. I have told you that I believe we could see something like 3.6 or 3.7. So the first thing to occur in 2025 is, I believe, once again, we will end the year with less existing home sales, less transactions, less turnover. This is the uncomfortable grind that I've been telling you is coming for years. Again, we have this thing that we call the 54-year spreadsheet. You can find it on my website, onerentalatatime.com. The last time we went through this grind, it took something like 14, it might even be 16 years to get through. Now, I am not calling a decade plus, but I'm calling 5 years, right? 2025 will be the 3rd year in a row where transactions, existing home transactions, are below the previous year. That doesn't happen very often. And that is what's going to happen. Now, back to this comment. Again, I believe this person may have wrote this trying to say that prices are going to roll off a table. And that's just not going to happen, at least not with the economic setup now. However, if you do the work, if you find an agent that says, hey, whisper, my sellers are motivated. They bought a new home. They need to get out. Maybe they're from China and want some cash. I don't know. But if you do the work, you ask lots of questions, you write lots of offers, you can, and frankly, you should get a great deal. It is never easy. Nothing is promised. I am not here saying you will find one. I am saying you have a choice. You either believe you can or you believe you can't. Either way, you're right. That's on you. The other thing I do want to remind you, please remember this, is sometimes it's not about price. Sometimes, like for example, those folks from China in that guy's comment, maybe those folks are underwater. Maybe they had their kid live there while they were going to college. Who knows what the reason is. Maybe, just maybe, they don't want cash because then they have to repatriate it to China. Who knows? I don't know the rules. Do you? But maybe you can offer their price and say, hey, why don't you get a note and I'll send you some payments, once a month or whatever. So again, what I would tell you, and I would tell this individual, and I did in his comments, you can go back and look at it, as I said, welcome to a buyer's market. That is exactly what happens. Less demand, less transactions, easier, but nothing's promised to find motivated sellers. welcome to a buyer's market. It is amazing unless you're a seller. If you're a seller, yeah, not a good time. Not a good time. So again, very, very cool. So again, if you want to be around other folks that talk this way, operate this way, I don't know why you haven't joined school yet. It's 67 cents a day, $20 a month. I want to congratulate George, Clay, Kyle, and Alan. All four of you joined in the last couple of days. Welcome to the community. Remember, you got to do a little bit of introductions and comments and all of that. Once you get to level 2, you unlock a 6-hour masterclass on creative and seller financing by TYLG. Must watch, must watch. And if you do a little bit more communications, you get to level 3 and you unlock a 10-week boot camp. Watch one of those episodes every other day, $1,000, giveaway, and you will be on your way. Also, don't forget, we have one of our 3 accountability groups. It is Sunday. There's an accountability group on Sunday, I believe led by Jared. So again, I don't know why you haven't joined. Join now. So other things about the housing market. Want to shout out Daryl Fairweather, chief economist, talking about the housing market is unhealthy. We agree. She was asked about what policies of our president-elect Trump will bring to the table. There was a couple of things that she referenced. One, the federal government really doesn't have much power to kind of force regulations. However, because they're local, right? They're all down to the state, city, county level. However, past presidents and undoubtedly Trump will have the ability to use what's called carrot and sticks, right? If you perform this way, Mr. and Mrs. County, we will give you X goodies. And if you don't perform this way, we will not give you X goodies. So again, those things are possible. Second, regulations. There is no question that one of the themes is going to be less regulations throughout our economy. So a lot of those could make housing either cheaper or faster or both. One could hope. Also, there has been talk about perhaps unlocking a small sliver of federal land for affordable housing and units and all of that. Again, all things are possible. I don't think any things are quick. I wouldn't expect, 1 million homes to be created in 2025. The housing market simply doesn't move that fast. But hey, could we get more housing, more new units in 26, 27? Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, given the lag in the timeline, I think it's a 26 or 27 help. But hey, at this point, anything I think would help the broken housing market. The one thing I do think we have to watch is tariffs. Again, I am of the ilk that tariffs will be used as a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. However, if they are used as a sledgehammer, that will be bad, at least in the short term. In the short term, without question, tariffs will lead to reciprocation. We will have higher import and export costs. It will slow the economy. For them in the short run, bad. In the long run, there are some signs that tariffs could be helpful. Long run being, again, years. It could lead to more manufacturing. It could lead to more onshoring. It could be net positive if you look at a decade. However, if your time frame is shorter, tariffs could, especially if they're used as a sledgehammer versus a scalpel, they could force the Fed to re-engage and, frankly, raise rates. It could. So, again, something to watch for. Again, all of these things are simply talking tracks. Again, a lot of these things that are talked about by politicians of all kind are trying to win an election. We will see exactly what happens very early in January, February, and March. Never boring. Never boring. The last thing I would tell you on this topic is, folks, stop waiting. A lot of you were waiting until after the election. Some of you have already told me now you're going to wait till after inauguration. Then what? Are you going to wait for the State of the Union? Then what? Are you going to wait for this? It doesn't matter. Your job doesn't change. Get a buy box, do the work, figure out average, write great offers, follow up, follow up, follow up. Your job doesn't change. Do the work. I want to shout out Lance Lambert for running Resi Day. Also want to thank Lance for giving me the opportunity to spend all day with my daughter on Thursday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was amazing. But on Friday, when we were at Resi Day, here's my 3 takeaways. Number 1, the ORAT community showed out. I was lucky enough to talk with 10 to 12 of you. We had anywhere from just a quick, handshake to 5-10 minute conversations. So to all of you that came to Resi Club or Resi Day, excuse me, thank you for showing out. Thank you for showing your support. Thank you for being there. Means the world to me that you were there. You took pictures. You shared with me. It was amazing. Number 2, all of the speakers think that 2025 is going to be slow. Many of them were of the ilk that transactions will be down from 24, which were down from 23. Good news is every speaker was asked about how to fix it. And at least at Resi Day, which I guess there's something there. Thanks, Lance Lambert. Everyone was focused on supply. I didn't hear one speaker say $25,000 first-time home buyer program. There was no 10,000 free money, this, that, or the other. So again, at Resi Day, the experts in the room, shout out all of them that were speakers, were focused on supply, which if you follow this channel, I believe is the right thing to do. Next up, we got to talk about the Fed. We'll talk about Powell on Friday and then Neel Kashkari on Saturday. Boy, Neel came out firing. Woo! Let's go to Fed President Powell. Again, my expectations going into the meeting, we'd get a quarter, and then he would be asked ad nauseum about, what they're going to do given the election's results. Powell was also asked, as I expected, will you resign if President Trump asks you to? And to hit that, which he gave a very stern no. He was asked questions about it 3 or 4 different ways, and the answer was nothing. I think Powell did the best he could. I did not expect Powell to answer any question around that, and he successfully gave non-answers. I suspect that will not be the case in the next 7 to 10 days. What do I mean by that? I think Powell is a very focused individual. However, he has 18 other Fed presidents. Most of them are rather loose-lipped. And if you don't know already, we are about to get Fed speech after Fed speech after Fed speech after Fed speech. As an example of that, Neel Kashkari came out on Saturday, right after the blackout period was over. And here's what Neel had to say. The strong economy and higher productivity growth may drive the Fed to cut less than expected. Once again, folks, the bond market was right. We have been talking about potentially having mortgage rates in the 4 or 10-year notes in the 4s and mortgage rates in the 7. Remember, you and I on this channel have been talking about that for 2 or 3 weeks. Neel Kashkari, Fed President Neel Kashkari, said the quiet part out loud. We may have to cut less. Now, what does less mean? Is it a quarter less, 50 less, 100 less? You and I are not sure. But good news is we will start to learn more and more next week. Just so you know, Monday is Veterans Day. If you are a veteran, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mom, Dad, thank you for serving. I appreciate all you do all the time. But again, if you know veterans, thank them. All gave something, some gave everything. So again, thank the veterans. If you're a veteran out there watching this, please know that you have my heartfelt thanks and respect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tuesday, we've got 3 Fed speeches. Again, folks, they're going to be coming hot and heavy. At least 3, because sometimes they sneak some in that I'm not aware of. Wednesday, big day Wednesday, CPI. Folks, buckle up. This is what Dan Bird and I have been talking about. CPI headline is expected to go up. Yes, up. You want to see the market go bonkers on Wednesday? You get CPI going up as the Fed has started to cut 75 basis points already and more cuts likely. It's going to get loud and noisy if inflation goes up. Now that's headline. Core is expected to be flat, although core staying flat at 3.3 is also a red flag. It is sticky, sticky, sticky. On Wednesday, not only do we have that, but we got 4 Fed speeches. Thursday, we've got 3 more Fed speeches plus PPI. PPI headline last was 1.8. Core was 3.2. And then Friday, we will get retail sales and another Fed speech. So again, lots of things going on. Again, kudos to Powell for saying nothing in front of the microphone. That was his goal, and he succeeded. But dude, you've got 3, 7, 10, at least 11 Fed speeches next week. I do not think these 11 speeches and likely more will have the same discipline. So we will be watching that. Don't know if you saw this from Open Door. Yep, I didn't even know Open Door still existed. I will be honest. I thought Open Door got crushed as they exited the market, I don't know, a couple of years ago. But apparently they still exist. They just laid off 300 workers. Home values went negative over the summer. The resale mix favored low margin, older homes over newer, high margin homes. Dude, Open Door. What the hell are you doing? I mean, like, seriously. It's just a bad business model. It's a bad business model at the scale that you're trying to do it. It's just not a good idea. What else do we got? Oh, we did have an Oregon meetup, one rental at a time meetup in Oregon yesterday. I want to congratulate anyone who's doing meetups. Do me a favor. If you are going to run a meetup, let me know about it so I can publicize it on the daily financial news. And maybe we can get some more people out there. I would love to see ORAT meetups start to occur around the country. I think that would be a lot of fun. Folks, again, remember we had an election last week, and it looks like it hit home pending sale or home new listings. Gosh, more coffee. New listings, rather hard. We came in at only 48,863. Shout out Logan Montashami from Housing Wire for that details. That is a significant drop week on week. Again, like anything, it is not a trend until we see a couple of 2-3 weeks in a row. Again, let's see where this goes. But again, we're in that period. The election's over. Thankfully, the results are known. We're not having legal battles. And now we're in holiday season. And then inauguration. I suspect we are going to be in a buyer's market, as we talked about at the beginning of this show. It might be all of 25. I got to tell you, I have a hard time believing the buyer's market will be all of 2025. It doesn't logically tie out to me, but it could. It absolutely could. I'm willing to tell you right now that I think the buyer's market will go longer than I expected. When I called the buyer's market 10 or 12 weeks ago, I thought it would end in January, middle of February. It's going to go to April at this point. And pretty soon I might call the summer. But again, do the work. It's never easy. But as the opening question alluded to, it's here. Enjoy it. You need to enjoy this period. Buyer's markets don't last forever. Now, again, before everybody blows up the comments, not everywhere. If you're in the Northeast, it's still pretty tough, right? Inventory is still 50% below where it was in 2019. Not you, but most of the country is in a buyer's market. And then lastly, folks, a lot of you have told me you're coming to the ORAT event in Vegas. We are about 90 days away. 90 days away. It is time to buy your tickets. VIP is now 60% sold out. There's a good chance that I might actually shrink the size of the event, which will significantly limit the tickets. But again, if you do want to come and you want to be around 300-400 other amazing people for 2 full days, ask questions, network, time to buy your tickets, because I will have to make some hard decisions in the next 2 to 3 weeks as I lock in the head count, and then it will be locked for good. So again, Time to get the tickets, time to join, time to book travel, save some money on flights and hotels. I hope to see you there. If you're coming, and you haven't got your tickets, time to get it. You can go to Eventbrite and see the 2 ticket options there. This is going to be a lot of fun. Oh, we got a super chat. What do we got? Make the offer. It's better to live with disappointment than live with regret. Get your purple cards, folks. Absolutely. I don't have any purple cards with me, but I would like, I would like nothing better. I would like nothing better than to send out a lot of purple cards. I think that's Chester, I think. If you are, if you're stuck, do me a favor. Write an offer 50% below list price. You're not going to get it, most likely, but you're also going to learn you didn't die. For some of you, that is important. So, folks, I hope you're having a great day. I hope it's amazing. I hope you make somebody smile. I hope you smile. Join school. Come to our event. You won't regret it. Chester, thanks for the love and attention, man. Congrats on your deal this year. I remember at the last ORAD event, you're like, I'm going to get one, and you did. Folks, keep being amazing. Like, subscribe, comment. Be well. Later.